on AMC True Crime.
It was a chilly January evening in 2018. Orange County, California, a place known for its sunshine and serenity, was about to become the setting for an unthinkable tragedy. Blaze Bernstein's mother paced nervously outside her home, her heart heavy with worry. Her son hadn't returned from what was supposed to be a casual meetup with an old friend. His phone was silent, his usual cheerful texts replaced by a haunting void. Blaze was missing. Blaze Bernstein was more than just another college student. At 19, he was already a budding writer, a promising sophomore at the University of Pennsylvania, and a beacon of light to everyone who knew him. Openly gay and proudly Jewish, Blaze lived life authentically, spreading joy and kindness wherever he went. But for all his vibrance, Blaze's life would be extinguished by someone he once thought he could trust, a former classmate who harbored a darkness no one could have predicted. What began as a friendly reunion turned into a sinister plot. Blaze Bernstein's story is not just one of a life cut tragically short, but of a hidden hatred that would leave an indelible scar on a community. A meeting arranged through a dating app, a shallow grave uncovered after days of rain, and a shocking revelation of hate-fueled violence. This is the story of Blaze Bernstein, a story of innocence, betrayal, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice. Stay with us as we uncover the chilling details of this harrowing case, a story that reminds us of the cost of hatred and the strength of a community united in love. Blaze Bernstein was the kind of person who lit up every room he entered. At just 19 years old, he had already carved a path of promise and creativity. A sophomore at the University of Pennsylvania, Blaze was as passionate about pre-med as he was about writing, often weaving his thoughts into essays that reflected his unique perspective on life. Blaze's family, a close-knit and loving group in Newport Beach, California, was his foundation. His parents, Jean and Gideon, nurtured his talents and supported him as he embraced his identity as a proud, openly gay, Jewish young man. To them, Blaze wasn't just their son, he was their joy, their heart, their inspiration. During Blaze's high school years at the Orange County School of the Arts, he crossed paths with Samuel Woodward, a fellow student with a quiet demeanor. Though they weren't close, their paths would cross again years later, this time with devastating consequences. It was during Blaze's winter break in January 2018 when the two reconnected through Snapchat. Blaze, always kind and open, reached out to Samuel, arranging a meetup to catch up. What seemed like an innocent invitation to rekindle an old acquaintance would soon take a chilling turn. The two agreed to meet late one evening, with Samuel picking Blaze up at his home. They drove to Borrego Park, a serene but secluded spot in Orange County. For Blaze, it was a chance to connect, to share stories of college life, and to enjoy a simple conversation. But Samuel Woodward wasn't the same person Blaze had once known. Raised in a strict, politically conservative household, Samuel struggled with his identity, harboring deep insecurities and an inner turmoil that festered in silence. Beneath the surface, his friendly facade masked darker intentions. What Blaze saw as a chance to reconnect, Samuel saw as something far more sinister. In the stillness of that winter night, a meeting that began with hope would soon end in heartbreak. January 2nd, 2018, a typical chilly evening in Lake Forest, California. Inside the Bernstein household, the warmth of family life unfolded. Blaze Bernstein had just finished dinner and was chatting with his parents. But as the evening deepened, Blaze made a decision that would change everything. At around 9:30 p.m., Blaze told his parents he was stepping out to meet a friend. He didn't take much. No wallet, no glasses, just his phone and a casual outfit. It seemed like a short trip, a routine outing. Little did anyone know, It was the last time they would see him alive. When morning came, Blaze's absence was noticeable but not yet alarming. His parents assumed he'd simply returned late and slept in. But as hours passed, unease began to set in. Blaze missed a dentist appointment, a stark anomaly for the usually punctual teen. Calls and texts to his phone went unanswered. By nightfall, their concern turned into dread. Blaze's family contacted the Orange County Sheriff's Department, reporting him missing. As news spread, neighbors and friends rallied to search Borrego Park, the last place Blaze had mentioned he was heading. For days, the search continued with no sign of Blaze. His family held on to hope, but as the hours dragged into a week, hope gave way to fear. On January 9, 2018, investigators discovered Blaze's body in a shallow grave within the brush at Borrego Park. Blaze had been stabbed over 20 times. The brutality of the act shocked the quiet community of Lake Forest. The discovery marked the end of a frantic search and the beginning of an intense investigation into his tragic death. Why would someone harm Blaze Bernstein, a young man full of promise, loved by all who knew him? The questions loomed heavy as the investigation turned its focus to the person who last saw Blaze alive, Samuel Woodward. The week following Blaze Bernstein's disappearance was a storm of escalating emotions, hope clashing with despair as his family awaited answers. When Blaze's body was discovered in a shallow grave in Borrego Park, the focus shifted to unraveling a chilling mystery. The Orange County Sheriff's Department quickly turned their attention to Samuel Woodward, the last person to have seen Blaze alive. Woodward, a former high school acquaintance of Blaze, became a key suspect after inconsistencies in his story began to surface. When questioned, Woodward claimed Blaze had tried to kiss him, which he said had made him uncomfortable. His narrative reeked of calculated self-defense, but investigators would soon uncover a much darker truth. Forensic evidence became the cornerstone of the investigation. Blood matching Blaze's DNA was found on a knife in Woodward's possession, and stains in his car confirmed Blaze had been there. The sheer weight of this evidence left no room for doubt. This was no accidental death. It was murder. But the investigation didn't stop at the murder itself. As detectives delved deeper into Woodward's life, they uncovered his affiliation with Atomwaffen Division, a neo-Nazi hate group. Woodward had been seen attending meetings and participating in hateful rituals, glorifying violence and oppression. The revelation sent shockwaves across the community. Even more damning was a diary discovered on Woodward's computer. Filled with venomous hate speech, it detailed his violent fantasies about targeting members of the LGBTQ+ community and those of Jewish faith. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was premeditated, fueled by bigotry, and meticulously carried out. For Blaze's family, the discovery of Woodward's true nature transformed their grief into a determination for justice. This wasn't just about their son anymore. It was about confronting the roots of hatred that had stolen Blaze's bright future. As investigators pieced together the events of that fateful night, one thing became clear. Blaze's death wasn't just a personal tragedy. It was a crime that symbolized the devastating consequences of intolerance and hate. The summer of 2024 marked the culmination of years of pain, investigation, and preparation. In the packed Orange County courtroom, the trial of Samuel Woodward, the man who brutally ended Blaze Bernstein's life, began. The stakes were high, not only for Blaze's family, but for the justice system itself, tasked with sending a clear message about hate crimes. The prosecution painted a harrowing picture of the events leading to Blaze's death. They laid out the evidence meticulously. The DNA found at the scene, Woodward's knife stained with Blaze's blood, and his chilling digital footprint, a hate-filled diary filled with violent fantasies targeting LGBTQ+ individuals. Prosecutor Jennifer Walker described Woodward's actions as an unprovoked attack motivated by a deep-seated hatred, targeting Blaze for simply existing as himself. Her words gripped the room. Every detail brought the horror of that January night back into sharp focus. Blaze's parents, Jean and Gideon Bernstein, attended every session, their resilience unshaken. Jean's voice broke as she addressed the court. "To lose my firstborn child, my dream for the future, my partner in fun, is the single worst thing that has ever happened to me. But we are here for Blaze, to make sure his death means something. We have to fight hate with every ounce of strength we have left." Her words were a rallying cry for change, not just justice for Blaze, but a broader movement to combat hate crimes. The defense tried to shift the narrative. They admitted Woodward's guilt, but denied premeditation. They argued his actions stemmed from a moment of rage, not ideology, citing mental health diagnoses as mitigating factors. But the prosecution dismantled these claims with chilling evidence of Woodward's association with Atomwaffen, a violent neo-Nazi group. Photos of Woodward at extremist meetings, combined with his violent diary entries, left no doubt about his motivations. After weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated. On July 3, 2024, they reached their verdict: guilty of first-degree murder with hate crime enhancements. The sentence was as severe as the crime, life in prison without the possibility of parole. In his sentencing remarks, District Attorney Todd Spitzer condemned Woodward's actions as an attack on the very fabric of society. To hate someone simply for who they are is a hate like no other. It targets our identity and our self-worth in an attempt to render us worthless. Here in Orange County, there is no tolerance for hate. For the Bernstein family, the verdict was a bittersweet victory. Jean Bernstein reflected on her son's legacy. Blaze accomplished more in his short life than many do in a full lifetime. We will carry his light forward. His story will remind the world that love must always triumph over hate. The case reverberated beyond the courtroom, sparking renewed calls for hate crime legislation and community activism. Blaze's story became a symbol, a rallying cry to fight for a world where love and acceptance prevail. Blaze Bernstein's life was tragically cut short, but his legacy endures. The fight against hate continues, fueled by his memory and the determination of those who loved him. In every act of kindness, in every effort to combat prejudice, Blaze's light shines on. The tragedy of Blaze Bernstein's murder left an indelible mark on the Orange County community and beyond. But from this loss emerged a profound movement of kindness and hope. In the days and weeks following Blaze's death, his parents, Jean Pepper and Gideon Bernstein, turned their grief into a mission. They launched the Blaze It Forward campaign, urging people to perform acts of kindness in Blaze's memory. The movement quickly gained traction, becoming a beacon of positivity in a world marred by intolerance and violence. This wasn't just about paying tribute to Blaze, but also about confronting the hate that led to his death. Thousands of people joined the effort, sharing their good deeds online, from volunteering at shelters to organizing community cleanups. The Bernsteins spoke frequently about the campaign's mission, inspiring others to embrace empathy and compassion as tools for societal healing. The Bernsteins' work extended beyond random acts of kindness. They collaborated with local organizations to host events promoting diversity, inclusion, and LGBTQ+ acceptance. The Blaze It Forward Facebook group, now with tens of thousands of members, became a space to celebrate stories of kindness from around the globe, proving that even in darkness, the human spirit could shine brightly. In Borrego Park, where Blaze's body was found, painted stones with messages of love and hope now create a poignant memorial. These tokens, sent by strangers worldwide, underscore the dual narrative of Blaze's life. A reminder of the intolerance that ended it and a call to build bridges of understanding. Blaze's story became a rallying cry against hate-fueled ideologies. Advocacy for LGBT+ rights, anti-hate education, and community engagement became central to the Bernsteins' mission. Their message resonated globally, prompting discussions about the societal dangers of extremism and the need to foster empathy in younger generations. Blaze's legacy is one of kindness and action, Johnny Bernstein shared in a public address. His life taught us the power of love, and his death reminds us to fight against hate. Through scholarships, awareness campaigns, and motivational speaking, Blaze's memory continues to inspire change. As the credits roll on this chapter of tragedy and resilience, the story leaves us with an important message. Even in the face of unimaginable loss, we have the power to create something beautiful. Blaze's life, though cut short, continues to influence countless lives, reminding us of the enduring strength of compassion. With each kind act, Blaze's memory lives on, proving that the light of one individual can spark a flame of hope across the world. Join us. Blaze it forward. Blaze Bernstein's story is a haunting reminder of the devastating cost of hate, a vibrant life cut short by intolerance and violence. But amidst the darkness, Blaze's family and community have shown us the unyielding power of love and unity. In the face of tragedy, the Bernstein family chose not to let hate have the final word. Instead, they channeled their grief into a movement that celebrates compassion, challenges prejudice, and builds bridges of understanding. Lled Bernstein, quote, "Blaze's life mattered. Through kindness, we keep his spirit alive and ensure that his story becomes a force for good in the world. We must learn from Blaze's story. It's a call to action for every one of us to stand against hatred, to speak out against injustice, and to embrace kindness as a way of life. Honor Blaze by making kindness your legacy. Together, we can create a world where love triumphs over hate. Blaze it forward." If this case gripped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime.